Hello, happy Tuesday. What is today? April 9th, 2019. Thank you so much for joining or watching this replay of What's Brewing Behind the Scenes. I'm Julie Wilhite, wedding photographer. If you guys haven't watched any of my videos before, I am going to be chatting about what's going on in life, what's happening behind the scenes of my business, as I make my morning pour over. Good morning. Yay. So yeah, it was so exciting. I actually got a lot of your feedback on my Instagram stories asking what I should talk about today, because I kept kind of being like brainstorming different ideas, and I was like, hello, why don't I just ask everyone? So thank you to everyone who gave your feedback. It was pretty close. Everyone wanted to hear about all the topics, which was awesome, and maybe I'll be bringing back some of those other topics that I brainstormed. But the overall winner was, how do I plan out my week? So, and how do I kind of be intentional about using my time and to be the most productive possible, which a little bit, I'm going to go into a little bit about being a mom and a business owner, because things are a little bit different for me right now because I have a baby that stays home with me a lot. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about that too. It's a little bit about momminess and mommyhood and business as well. So are you guys having a good morning? How's your morning? I am very, very excited about having a second cup of coffee because I need it. Do you guys need it? So I'm going full strength. No quickie cup for me today. I'm going actual new strong cup. Did you guys have a good weekend? Are there any wedding photographers on here? How many of you guys had a wedding this past weekend? And even in Austin. I think I'm actually going to be the rest of my coffee. Boop. That means I need more. I did 26 grams. So this past weekend in Austin, for all of you that had weddings, was crazy for the weather. This has been the third weekend of weddings for me in my spring season, and every weekend has been a rain plan. Oh, I forgot my coffee cup. Let me go grab one. Has been a rain plan. So, thanks Austin. Thanks Texas. It has been, the first weekend, I don't even remember what happened the first weekend. Oh, there was two. It was beautiful weather on Friday night, and then we had to do a rain plan on Saturday, and then rain plan the next weekend, and then this past weekend was actually at a private residence. It was at a home, so shout out to Miss Haley, who was from Heavenly Day Events. She was the coordinator for my wedding this past weekend, and she was amazing. It was a very just challenging situation being at someone's home and it being so rainy that there was mud everywhere and it was just pouring as they're sitting there talking about what is the actual rain plan. So when your rain plan doesn't actually go through. Anyways, Haley was amazing. She did amazing things, and so she made magic. And then the sun decided to come out. Thank you, sun. So that was great. I hope everyone, hello. I always have to come closer. Hi, Beth. How are you? How was your weddings last weekend? Rain. It's so funny though when it does, you call a rain plan and it's so disgusting and everyone's just drenched as they're getting ready for a wedding. And it's definitely the non-glamorous side of just being in the wedding industry. And then the sun comes out, and it was amazing. So, hello, Miss Jenna, Mama. Yes, last weekend. How was your wedding last weekend with the rain? So, actually, you were probably home with your sweet baby girl, weren't you? Not out in the weather. So, I haven't even looked at the weather this Saturday yet. I'm not going to look at it because it's going to change before Saturday, and I already looked and it said it's going to rain earlier this week, or last weekend, but I was a whole week away, right? So it's not going to happen. It's not going to rain. Right, Beth? It's not going to rain this weekend. So anyways, if you guys are just joining me too, I'm going to be talking about how I kind of plan out my week and how I'm intentional about my time in order to make the most of it. But right now I'm just chatting and making my coffee. Just pouring water over. So this morning, we've actually been struggling with some stomach bugs at our house. My littlest one, who's 1.5, Ash, was hot mess. So yeah, he came down with that last Wednesday. So speaking of mommyhood and business, one of the biggest things is that one of your kids might just get sick, and then all of your plans have to change, right? We are feeling better. Ash went to school today, both Gray and Ash. Thank you. Please do my anti-rain dance because I don't want it to rain. But yeah, Ash is doing much better. It was really touch and go there for a while. He just, was not feeling good. Poor baby. It was not good. So I kind of had to just do everything a little bit different at the end of last week and make do. And I almost got sick myself. I was not feeling good on Friday. I called my husband and I said, I need you to come home. This is when having a good partner is, I'm just so thankful for him because he immediately came home. I just went into bed and he fed the boys, put them down, and I was able to sleep about 12 hours and felt, I wouldn't say great the next day, but much better than it could have been. Much better than little Ashley was doing. So I'm putting honey in my coffee today. I get it all over myself as well because I bought the unsweetened version of my creamer because I was like, I don't need sugar. I'm going to be great. And then I wanted a lot of sugar, right? We don't do, I don't really have regular sugar in my house. So we do like unrefined sugars. So honey, I already used up all my maple syrup, or I would totally be using maple syrup because it's amazing. Let me go wash my hands though. That's the one bad thing about honey. I get my honey from Costco. I have a big thing of raw honey. That's amazing. I use it for a lot of stuff, especially when I'm like, do I want my kids to eat this? How quickly do I want them to eat it? It's like, how much honey do I want to put in it? But yeah. So you know me, I have to use my little stir to get my coffee all together for this morning. I'm just gonna put this right here, like a little pile of mess. So I just see y'all's comments. I hope you guys are doing well. Okay, all coffee done. See, it doesn't take that long, right? How long does making your coffee take? I find it to be very, it used to feel like it took a long time, and then now it's very relaxing. I'm always thinking about my day, thinking about what I'm gonna do first as I make my coffee. So, I forgot. I have one other thing I'm gonna show you guys that I just got in the mail yesterday. I didn't even Instagram story it yet, so I'm pretty pumped about it. So talking about how I plan my week. So I'm gonna be real here that I have gotten a lot more intentional and a lot better about how I plan my week, but I still have a long way to go. And part of my excuse / reasoning is that I have a baby at home, right? He's 1.5, he stays home with me. He goes to Mother's Day out twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which is just 5 hours each day, and it's just not much. And to be honest, really those times are mostly when I make meetings, when I have lunches. Like today I have this live, and then I have a lunch with a mama, and then I have a meeting right after that, and then I go and pick him up. So there's my whole day, right? And it's just, there's just not a lot of time in my schedule at the moment. And then when I have him at home with me, you just never know what's going to happen. So I can't really say from 1 to 3 when he naps, I'll be able to work on this. So because his nap may be an hour that day, or maybe 3 hours, or maybe the power sheets if you don't. Are you doing the Create Cultivate power sheets, or what power sheets do you use, Jenna? Because I really want to know more about this. And please, you guys, send comments, like anything that you guys that have found that has worked for you. I'm in compile mode where I'm trying to really figure out what works best for me. I've heard you're not the first person. Someone else has told me too that how much they love those sheets. So I might have to go get them right after this. But I am also old school. So I did just recently discover Evernote, which I know all of you, every time I ask, like, what are your favorite apps? That would be awesome. Jenna, every time I ask what people's favorite apps are, what your favorite apps are, people would talk about Evernote. And I was always like, Evernote, yeah, that's great. Like notes, I have a note, in my phone. Like I just never saw the reasoning for it, which now I know is dumb, right? So, I mean, not dumb. I just didn't know yet what it was going to be, how it was going to work for me. So I just recently got Evernote, which has been really helpful for basically just replacing all those Word documents I had everywhere. I would like create a Word document for this and a Word document for that. Now I've got all my like Word documents all together, and I'm able to access it from my phone, from my laptop, from my desktop. So that's been really helpful as well. But I still do a lot on pen and paper, especially when it comes to my to-do lists. So at either the end of the week, so either on Friday afternoon as I'm about to close up, or Sunday night sometimes I'll do it, just if I've got a little bit of time, my husband's working, or Monday morning at the latest, I'll really kind of sit down. I'll create a brand new kind of to-do list for what I need to get done, and then kind of from there we'll create like a hierarchy, or create like what needs to be done first, what's the highest priority, and then kind of like number down a few for me to just kind of know what my priorities are for that week. So I've always been really good about this to-do list, right? I'll show you the one I've created for this week. So I know, pen and paper, right guys, old school. And then it's just my list. And then I use, because I love it, a big red fat Sharpie to cross things off after I have accomplished them. And then I also like use another color and like color code it and basically, put the level of priority. And then what I've been doing recently is also just thinking about, okay, so I've got this to-do list that I'm writing of things that I need to do for my clients, things that I need to do for my overall business, and creating that to-do list really does kind of focus me. It really does kind of just lay out everything that needs to get done, and then I can kind of say, okay, that's going to take me an hour, or that's going to take me 30 minutes, or that's going to take me 8 hours, 5 to 8 hours. So really kind of thinking in that way and setting myself up for success. So if I know that I may only be able to work an hour before the boys get up, and then 2 to 3 hours during Ash's nap, which by the way, he's only slept one time for 3 hours. I'm really hoping for more 3-hour naps, because the day that he slept for 3 hours, I was like, I've gotten so much done, I don't even know what to do with myself. July, he starts school. He starts preschool in July at Academia Preescolar, which is where Gregory goes to school. He's starting kinder in the fall, which just sounds crazy to me that I have a kindergartner. But yeah, also exciting news. We just found out that he got into Becker, which is just a transfer to a dual language program that is really close to us. It's actually just like across Old Tor from us. It just has a really small little radius of area that goes to that school, and so there's a lot of transfers in. So we are transferring in, which is super exciting. My son is living out my dream. He speaks very good Spanish, and hopefully he's going to teach me better Spanish one of these days. But yes, so what I've been doing recently that's been really helpful as well is I take this planner, again, on paper, pen and paper. It's something about the act of writing it out that really helps me. I've tried even to do like Asana or to do some app online with my to-do lists, and I just didn't find that it worked for me. So maybe I need to, I'm sure I'll just try again later, but right now I like this system a little better. So looking at each of my days, knowing that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I have less time, Tuesdays and Thursdays, depending on what my week looks like, that's a chunk of time where I could do some work. and really just looking at, do I have appointments scheduled, or did I say no in order to create more space for work? So I've got, so like this week, for instance, I've got something that I've assigned to each day. So I had a wedding that I delivered yesterday, that I finished yesterday. And so that was the goal for that day. So that's what I would do actually before I even open my email, is my goal. Or definitely by the time I go to sleep, right? I will finish that task. Processing a wedding does take me more time than, say, like if I wanted to get a newsletter out or brainstorm a newsletter topic, that would be a shorter amount of time, and I'd be able to maybe do that more easily before I open my email. And then today, I had timelines and emails on here, which I already completed for the day. I did that this morning. And so I've actually got a pretty packed schedule for this week. But really just taking those priorities from that list, putting it into this timeline as my big ticket item of what my goal is for that day and what I want, no matter what, to accomplish. Target. Jenna just asked where my planner is from. Both of these are actually from Target. I had a friend actually come in for a day session with me where we talked about being self-employed and setting yourself up for success, and just talking about all the things about entrepreneurship. And so we went to Target and we bought all new notebooks. But yes, these are from Target. I've even seen that they have they just came out with even more colors, I think this is just a watercolor. It's just so pretty. Anyways, and that makes me really happy, right? I like to be color coordinated, and it makes me happy. So then just putting, for me at this point in time where I don't really know what my schedule looks like every day, I have to be a little bit, give myself a little bit more grace and have a little bit more fluidity with my timeline. So having myself have one item that is to be done that day really helps. And so you'll see that I have a lot of weddings that I'm processing this week, and then next week I have it blocked off all week for content creation for something that I'm working on. So really, in my mind, thinking, what do I need to get done before I block out a whole week of time to do something that's even bigger. But it's really nice because if I'm able to tell myself, look at my calendar, if I finish this, this, and this, and I'm able to give the right amount of time to another project, it just alleviates that idea that in my mind sometimes if I'm just looking at a to-do list, it's like I've got so much to do, and that can be stressful, right? But if I look at my one item that is my priority for the day, then it's a little bit more manageable. And then once I finish that, I feel like $1 million and I've actually accomplished something, and anything else I get done that day is like icing on the cake. So I really find that creating, especially as a mom who's also a business owner, creating action items and to-do items that are actually accomplishable within the time frame that I have, and erring on the side of a short nap if I have things that are accomplishable within that smaller time frame, then I'm setting myself up to be happy and to be feeling accomplished, which is really the goal, right? We're always going to have things to do. If I didn't have anything on my to-do list, I would be sad and would feel like I need to go get some more work, right? And there's seasons too, especially in the wedding photography world. I don't know about you guys, and tell me how you feel about this, but I definitely have seasons. So there are off seasons from weddings where I have a little bit more time for content creation and for dreaming and brainstorming up new ideas for my business and what I want to do next. And then there are times like right now where I am doing a lot of weddings and a lot of shoots. So I have to just mentally prepare myself for the fact that there are multiple seasons. What I do want to do, I can't wait to look at those power sheets, but what I am planning to do, and what I have found that other people have said is really helpful, is actually taking, once I do have a more set schedule starting in July, I'm so excited, that I will actually like block out times on my calendar and actually put it in my Google Calendar, saying that 9 to 10 a.m. is, newsletter brainstorming. 10 to 11 is emails. 11 to 12 is, I'm trying to think of different things that I have to do, but just really, content creation or engaging with people on social media or doing my social media planning. Really just kind of giving even blocks of time specific, priorities, and really like shutting down the email at the end of that time frame and saying, all right, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I get to go back to the emails, and just really shutting everything else off except for what you've actually assigned to that time frame. It sounds intense, but I think it's supposed to be really productive, right? Because if we're always, and I do this all the time, I get really scattered. I know, right? Still on your to-do list to do this. And there may be certain weeks where we're really good at it, and there may be certain weeks where we're not, but, we just have to give ourselves grace and, be kind to ourselves and know that some weeks are going to be really great, and then some weeks your kid's going to get sick. And sometimes you need a weekend away to, put full force into your business. I'm already missing those. I did want to show you guys one new thing that I just got. Very excited about it. So one thing I have been giving a lot of attention to has been the fact that, I just climb on my table, that I love my to-do lists, and I'm great at checking things off. But sometimes what I'm not good at is dreaming about my business and creating goals for a big business. Not that I'm not good at, but I think that I can be better at it. And really thinking, where's the direction of my business? Am I just checking things off the list because it feels good, or am I actually moving my business forward? So one of the things I've been working on with that in mind is my morning routine. So on my best days, which right now, since my child isn't sick, it's been a little all over the place, but I'm gonna get back. This week I actually got up early, which was amazing. So typically what I'll do when I wake up in the morning is I try and wake up an hour before my boys wake up, which is about 5:30. Sometimes they wake up between 6:30 and 7. So 5:30 I will get up. I try and drink a glass of water as I'm making my coffee. Sometimes I just sip water as I'm making my coffee, but make my coffee, and then I typically sit down and do a 5 to 10 minute meditation. And then I've been wanting to add this in, which is to be journaling. So I don't know if you guys are as big of a fan of, this says goals, by the way. I know it looks backwards for you guys since I'm turned around on my camera, but this is Rachel. I always wondered what happens when people call you. So someone just called me. I've actually been getting a lot of spam calls. I don't know about you guys, but I really need to add my name to a do not call list. Anybody else have that problem? And it kind of comes in waves. It's like, who sold my information now? Okay, so Rachel Hollis just launched her spring edition of her Start to Day journals. I know, right? And I'm super pumped about it. So I knew I could do this on my own and I could create my own journal, but there's something about having a really pretty one, as you can see from my other journals, that I feel like motivates me. And I'm also listening to her book, Girl, Stop Apologizing, as well at the same time. So I'm really excited about this. So this is what I want to add in after my meditating. Typically after I'm meditating, then I go to my desk. I kind of look over my goals for the day, for the week, and then kind of start in on whatever that big ticket item is, so that I can start to be, accomplishing right away. But this is something that has been really exciting. So she actually has a podcast on it where she talks about, I literally just started it, The Girl Stop Apologizing, because she talks about it in here. She's like, it's a really good companion but I did listen on her podcast. She has a free, like a chapter that she reads about it, and it was really good. So I listened to her first book, Girl Wash Your Face, and it was really great. It was really motivational. I listened to it, which she reads it. And she's a really good reader, and you just kind of feel the emotion that she has even in her writing. And her writing kind of feels like she's your best friend over a glass of wine, like telling you what's up. So to have her actually read it and hear her voice, I really love it. So the chapter I heard on her podcast, Rise, was actually really good. At first I thought that I wasn't going to read it, or I wasn't going to listen. Like, it wasn't a priority. I was like, I think eventually I'll listen to it, because I just listened to Girl Wash Your Face. But what's cool about this one is this one's actually, so the last one was more like stories from her life and like motivation, but kind of more based on her own story. Is that what you guys got from it? And then this one, the Girl Wash Your Face, is more like specific business advice. Yeah, so I feel like it's a little bit more business oriented, which I was like, oh, I think I'm actually even more interested in that, because motivation is great, but I really want, more like concrete things about business and steps that I need to take or think about and stuff like that. So I got this journal. She talks in the beginning of it. She also reads the beginning of this in one of her podcast episodes as well. And it talks about like visualization, thinking about who you want to be in 10 years. And it's like the 10-10-1. So you create, in 10 years, you create 10 goals. I'm saying this right. 10 years, 10 dreams, and 1 goal. And what I really love about what she talks about is, yes, you have these 10 dreams that you formulate and put together. She leads you through it. But then you create one that is the actual goal for this, whatever quarter you're in. And I found that to be really helpful too. I have a very specific goal for this quarter, for this year actually. And it is above all else the most important thing that I'm moving forward. So I could dilute myself or dilute, my to-do list by, having other priorities. It's such a tendency to like want to do everything and want to make everything better. But she really talks about how if you concentrate on one item, it's much more manageable. She talks about you could put 10 pebbles in the water, or you could throw 1 boulder in the water, and which do you think is going to be create more of a ripple? It's like the boulder. So she kind of leads you through creating those 10 goals, 10 dreams and 1 goal, and then every day you write them again and again, and you write them as if they've already happened. So it says date, today I'm grateful for 5 things, and then 10 dreams I made happen, right? So writing your dreams as if they've already happened. It's a way to like trick your subconscious, trick your mind. And then the goal I'm going to achieve first. So I will let you guys know how this goes. But I do plan on, creating, making my coffee in the morning, doing some meditation, and then journaling for, for 15 minutes to 20 minutes every morning. So I would love to hear more about what y'all's morning routine looks like, and what you find to be really helpful. So yes, message me, send me a note, send me a comment. I'd love to hear more. I hope this is helpful for you guys. Again, this is all just, in progress, what I'm currently doing on how to be more intentional about how to make sure that I'm doing things that are not just reactionary, but proactively doing things that are moving my business forward. So I always love chatting with you guys. My coffee's really good this morning, as you can tell by how fast I'm talking. But I hope you guys have a beautiful Tuesday, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much. Bye.